Welcoming you back to Crypto's juiciest news, baby dolls. Ethereum is continuing its strength, its rise up to glory after consuming too much soy for a very long time. Is Donald Trump and the rest of the US Republicans, are they getting ready to fire Mr. Powell? What did Peter Schiff say about Ethereum? Is he making us very bullish? And did Michael Chad Saylor go and buy more Bitcoin? All of that coming your way and more. First, we're going to look at BTC, of course. Starting over the monthly candle. Monthly candle doesn't change, but we start and we check it out anyway because there's a lot of things to uncover. When we're looking at a monthly candle, we've had 4 in a row. I just want to remind you that, BCB and many other people think it's like really over soon. And if it is over, it would be one more final ping up. And then we all pretty much come crashing down, Humpty Dumpty, and then we'll see what happens after that point. You just never know, man. You never know. What if his chart pattern ends up being correct, but Bitcoin dominance just goes down and Ethereum is strong? If such a move was to happen, it would be something like this, where Bitcoin continues up and up and up and up and up, and then it can't go up anymore, and then it comes back here, and he's got some sort of big disastrous move like that. But I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. We'll see. A lot of people, we want these things to go higher. The 4-year cycle pretty much says it's due now to crash. But I just want to remind you of something, friends. In 2021, the fundamental reason of crypto going up higher along the rest of the world, it's not what it was today. In 2021, people were just like, oh, money's free. Oh, they're printing money. Rates are zero. All right. Oh, let's come and earn yield because if rates are zero in the real world, we can come to the cryptocurrency lands and we can make some more yields. Okay, that's all. Pretty much what was happening. Yeah, but we don't have that now. All right, now money's actually expensive. Yes, inflation's up. Money's actually expensive now, and the economy's still booming. You have AI. We have robotics. Sex robots are coming. We've got the quantum stuff, bioengineering. All these things are just starting to make the exponential leaps. All of these are moving alongside crypto. Do you see how we're in a different time now? It's kind of like the economy's pushed on forward, and there are things that make you think that the future's going to be better. If you remember back in 2021, no one really thought, oh, the future's going to be better. It's like, oh, we don't even know if this zombie virus is ever going to go away. How long are we going to be on lockdown, right? Are we going to die? Totally different. Now, it's like literally a completely new game. Now we have AI. The IQ of AI is, 120 now. It's gonna rise, man. It's gonna rise. It's gonna start scaring everyone. We're gonna have these moments where it just starts talking to you, and you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. Imagine you just have access to this super genius, right? So all of these amazing things are coming our way and more. This is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance has now confirmed red on the weekly super trend. Bitcoin dominance doing the big dagger down. Hopefully this continues again. This goes really like up, bang, bang, bang. We want to see something like this all the way, keep banging on down. This, friends, if you look at this, right, it takes us all the way about here, which is about 55%. That's where we're in December of last year. And if we go back and check, you and I can go back and have a look at where would that actually be if we look at the ETH-BTC ratio. Because December last year, before it went to zero, look where it was, man. December last year, this is where ETH-BTC was. It was around 0.035. So we're actually around that point now. But what's actually changed? Obviously, we've got Sol, we've got XRP, many other things have got to do a big catch-up as well because they all got ravaged, right? Because they're all slingshot leverage on Ethereum, right? So we're around here. We really want to see Ethereum back to 0.055. This is an abomination, okay? If you look at all the ratio buying of everyone, remember, they're putting equal amount of dollars now into Ethereum as they had for BTC. Back then, it was like around 300 million per day into Bitcoin and then 30 million into Ethereum. Now it's like 300 and 300, right? They're matching each other. So that ratio, by the way, it implies, it's kind of funny, they're implying a flippening, right? If you actually think about it, they're putting equal amounts of dollars into that. If that continued forever, you'd get a flippening, but obviously it's not going to continue forever. It's just that Ethereum is so low. They're going like super aggressive on Ethereum. So I'm hoping that we get back to this 0.055 and then we can see where we take it, I guess, in that next step and see if Ethereum can crack on that 7,200 zone. Speaking of meth, let's pump it. Pump it for meth. This is the meth chart. Check this out, man. This is wild, right? This is the daily chart of Ethereum. Look what it's actually done. Literally from down only to up only. Right, straight away. Thing is though, like, markets do this, this. It's so sad when you just have to go through it because you cop through the pain. It really is rubbish, right? But look at this. What a whopper of a move, man. 173%, literally in a straight line. If you want to check the amount of days of that as well, it's 105 days. Wow. So in the power of 105 days, everything can change. Yeah, but we know that already. It's just like it's been doing this forever. And also, friends, by the way, most of the time, see, this is pure manipulation. This was, someone was scamming us, okay? In most markets, what they do is when they form a bottom, there's a double bottom, there's a retest, it's got to come back up, and then you go, okay? That's usually what happens. Something like that, okay? When you just do this, there's scamming going on. There's crime. There's actual crime going on here. But, you know, it's markets. We can't do anything. You know what's funny? Do you know this zone here, friends? This zone here, it tells you all of this was full scamming. This entire thing was scamming. All of this. So Ethereum pretty much never should have went below 2,200. If you check it out here, you can see here, right? This is the zone Ethereum was meant to be at. Meant to come out here, come up, and then double bottom, maybe like come back, and do something like that before you meant to go up. But look what it did. It just kept scamming down. So that's why, man, you really got to be careful, especially if you get too confident with his leverage stuff or you think that it has to bounce. Well, guess what? Yeah, man, it's bouncing. Yeah, but that'll ping you out first on the way down. That'll be just a nightmare to live through. So hopefully we have clear skies ahead. Now, if I go back to the Bitcoin dominance chart just to show you what's cracking on here, we've got a long way to go, friends. Like, we got to make a lot of these like Bitcoin KOLs. Right, first right now it's boy who cried wolf, right? They're like, you guys say it's going to rotate down every time because it's been going up for 4 years. So first, we're going to have to get them to get a bit panicky, right? Which is the anxiety part. Right now they're in complacency. They're like, you guys, you always say it's going down, right? So that's what they're thinking about right now. When we get to the anxiety part, okay, they're going to start to see some news headlines that it's going to make them a bit scared, you know, and it will be things like, why is that company adding Ethereum to their balance sheet? You know what I mean? Like just stuff like that, you know, just a bit scared. But then eventually it's going to be full on capitulation and panic. And I don't know exactly what the news is going to be. No one does. But there'll be something that comes out here at some point, which just makes, I mean, like everyone, I hope it's down here when it happens, where we start to actually get some extreme forms of questioning about what they're actually doing. Okay. And guess what? Look, friends, I know we all believe in Bitcoin. We all like Bitcoin. I get it, dude. But I'm just telling you now, dude, everybody who's buying Bitcoin, these people did no research, okay? Everybody who bought Bitcoin in the Bitcoin halving year, they have to get unwound. All of them. Every single person here, they literally have to get unwound. That is not normal. In 2012, 2016, 2020, it was like altcoins re-emerge in the Bitcoin halving year. In our one, we just got scammed, right? Bitcoin dominance just kept going up in our Bitcoin halving year. Up and up and up and up and up and up. All right. And of course, why did it happen? A business cycle. Yeah, the business cycle never took off. So people didn't speculate around the future, didn't have enough confidence to think about the future as much. Therefore, Bitcoin takes the dollars, right? So we have to unwind all of that, man. We have to unwind all of that. And here's the thing, right? If we're going back to 2024, that's why I think the first pit stop might be here. We're like, you know what? Okay, all of 2024. And then they're like, oh, it's still good. It's still good. And then like, you know, we're probably going to have to go double bubble. Something like that here, and then it brings us all the way back to there. That's what I kind of feel is going to happen. What we call the double bubble alt season. That's what happened in 2017. I coined that term, double bubble alt season, because in 2017 you had the same president, you had a lot of similarities. Interest rates are tight. China was printing. The US dollar was doing its same chart pattern. All that other shebang. A lot of you asked us, friends, in my comment section in Twitter Roonies and YouTube's, like, okay, if we can't rely on like just any other signal and all these other macro indicators, what is a reliable measurement of alt season? If we can't look at altcoin index and stuff out here, it's this, okay? This is OTHERS-BTC. This is what I rely on, okay? This is the ratio of risky altcoins to Bitcoin. All right, right now it's 0.13. That's 13%, okay? Up here would be 40%. And up here would be 60%, okay? Yes, it does make higher highs in each cycle, right? It does make it. So I'm hoping this thing does some sort of like log line like that, and we actually come back and we match like 0.56. So I hope we go up from here and then bang, 0.56. I would love to see that. That would pretty much be everything repeating itself, right? And that would be truly a believer's cycle because it goes beyond the 4 years, okay? And that's exactly what we've been dealing with right now. I want to show you as well the global liquidity fractal too. This is it right here. Global liquidity fractal. Remember, it's still ticking up only. Global liquidity moving up and to the right. That's wonderful. They keep printing and printing and printing. Tether is 161 billion market cap. Remember, Tether, blacklist function, CBDC trash, but it is the lifeblood of cryptocurrency industry. The market cap keeps rising because people keep minting Tether, and they keep minting Tether because they want to come and participate and buy our crypto. This is the Soy-ETH ratio, friends. Now, if you've noticed, there was a shockwave sent all over crypto because everybody's going wild for this little 7% move up here of soy. And everyone's like, yes, we're back, we're back. I hope you're back, but I'm just saying your weekly super trend is still red. And you actually had a double flip of red. Okay, so this was because you were like because Ethereum was so rubbish, they were able to break their weekly super trend, come up here and get a double top and come back out here. So if Ethereum comes back, maybe there's an Ethereum ETF rally and it comes back here, right? And basically makes go, oh wow, like soy is coming back. Sorry, I said Ethereum ETF. Accidentally, I meant Soylana ETF. When it gets released, and then you just realize that the new people coming in, they want a new narrative out here. Friends, you got to remember, okay, what is Soylana? Think about what is Soylana. Most people don't even know what Soylana is. Soylana is a fast crypto wallet chain. That's it. It's a crypto wallet. Yeah, to most people, it's a crypto wallet. Now, I know you know what really Soylana is. Just like another blockchain, like everything else, it's fast. Okay, but what is it to the normies? Because you got to think about this. In 2021, when people came in, did they hunt for oracles and Aave and Uniswap? No, they didn't hunt for the intricacies of what makes crypto tick and the fees and the revenue generation. In their mind, everything's the same. They're just different logos. So what do? They bought the logo they relate to the most. Dogecoin. SHIB. Oh, I bought a dog. I know dogs. You know, you relate to this decentralization thing. I like dogs. They bought dogs. You get it? Oh, I like games. I bought games. Okay. Oh, I like this picture. JPEG. I like this community. I mean, you see, that's what they did. It fooled all the mid-curvers. It fooled everybody in crypto. Even the smart people too. So that's why everyone who thinks Soylana's destined for amazing fast transactions and everything out here. Look, I hope it happens, man. I'm just telling you, to everybody else coming in, what you see Soylana, they don't see it as. They see it as, well, there's JPEG Casino that just keeps losing. They just see it as like a place for losers to go get scammed, number one. So they want to try a new casino, right? They're trying Bonk Fun now, but eventually you're going to realize their win rates are trash there too. Okay, so they want to play a different game. Okay, and guess what, man? If Phantom and just other wallets, they're just supporting other chains. So they're just going to go to where they make money. All right, that's what happens, friends. In a bull market, you know, it's a 4-year cycle. Retail keeps losing every time someone enters. They keep losing in their mind because they buy something, goes down. They call it a scam. Come back 3 months later, they buy it up again. They buy something else, goes down. But at the end of the cycle, the part when everyone starts to get really excited, where we have obviously the ISM cranking up, retail buy and they win. They win big and they win fast. The feature basically hits on the slot machine, okay? And the feature hits and the coins are coming down. And what ends up happening is they get really loud to their friends and family. They're like, oh my gosh, I put $4,000 into this and now it's $20,000. Whoa, man, I can take a holiday now. Wow. And they said, oh, I read this other guy. He said this thing, you know, let's say it's 10 cents. They said it's going to $1. He said it's definitely going to $1. I'd have 200 grand at that point. They're already speculating in their mind that they've got 200,000 in their head when they've only got 20. So then they go and they get really, really loud to their friends and family. And their friends and family come in. And their friends and family only come in because the business cycle's ticked up. And they're like, you know what? I'm doing great in my business, or I'm doing great at work. I got a promotion and I do have a bit of savings. Let me go throw it in there because I'm optimistic about the future, right? But if you pluck anybody person out, they don't like talk like that. They go, wow, I'm so optimistic about robotics and quantum and AI. They don't say that. The average person is probably going to whinge about something. They're probably going to say, oh no, did you see the Epstein files? Oh no, did you see this political issue? And they're like, oh no, I have Trump derangement syndrome. Oh no, my football team didn't win on the weekend. You see what I mean? That's the average person you go talk to. That's what they're thinking about. But when the business cycle's doing well and they hear about their other friend doing it, it's easy for the positive flywheel to happen. You know, that's why what I've described to you. Yeah, it's so easy for me to just do that pattern, right? But what ends up happening is you find that moment is so rare. Like you need so many things to line up. You need the economy to do good, right? ISM to be going up, and you need the retailers to come in and see something new that they like and win in it. okay? Because you need all the traffic lights to go up, right? And let's crack on through. Speaking of traffic lights, the S&P 500 is giving us the biggest green traffic light of all. S&P 500, friends, hit a new all-time high. It's up here. This is beautiful. S&P 500 cranking up above here. Wonderful to see. This is pretty much the big macro sign out here. This is one of the biggest traffic lights at all. We have the US dollar and everything down. So macro, everything's looking good. There's nothing else really we can do. This is the Russell 2000. Same thing, right? We're battling this fib resistance level. It's kind of fun if you draw it here. It's battling around here. Then hopefully we just start shooting up out of nowhere. We just need the Russell to start cranking up and then we can continue out there. I want to address something as well, friends. If blockchain backer really thinks it's over soon, I'm going to show you just a daily super chain. We have Jams Win. Okay, Jams Win. I think it's out of a position, rotating stuff around. But if blockchain backer really thinks it's over soon, let's actually look at a weekly chart so we can have an idea of what's going on. Remember the Tasty Tube Zone. These three rectangles, friends, they are different price targets. They're all off the fibs. Okay, I did a macro fib for everything of the whole range. Okay, 155. This is 200, and this is pretty much 240. And I've just cleaned it up here for you and made it very family friendly. So this is our box of friendship, friends. If you notice, we're in the middle of the box of friendship. So technically, it's like the middle of the 4-year cycle bear market. So right now, they're taking profit, just to let you know. What is the right-hand side here, friends? This is where the 4-year cycle is meant to fractalize and end. Okay, this is it, October. Okay, October. I got a feeling, and obviously I don't know anything, but I got a feeling when we hit October, all right, I'm going to be moving this to December. Okay, I'll be moving it to December, and then it'll be like that. Okay, but for now, we'll just leave it there. So I guess what BCB expects is Bitcoin goes up, has a smackdown, and then it does the retrace to the fib from here to here. There's a fib here. This is the final alt season, and it's pretty much all over. We'll see. You know, they could always, like, even though, look, I know we talk about, you know, the economy and robotics and stuff. There could be a man-made disaster that comes out of nowhere, you know. So we don't know exactly how. No one knows how it's going to play out. But it would be a real shame. And there's been a lot of shames. It would be a real shame if that happened because, you know, 2021, we have so much PTSD, and then the PTSDers were right this time, which, look, man, I know the average market participant. Just to let you know, friends, this is what gives me the edge. I watch everyone, okay? I watch everybody, and this is what people don't get, right? Even though you're an independent thinker, even though you do your own analysis and everything, guess what? You are the crowd. Yeah. The crowd does their own thinking, and they all come to the same conclusion. That's why they're so convicted. Okay? So I just want to make you aware of that. That's why I watch them all. 2x speed, I go check them out. What's this guy thinking? This guy's bullish. This guy's bearish. I look at all that stuff, right? Do you remember, friends, as well? Do you remember when Ethereum, right, do you remember when we were down at this bottom zone? And I'll show it to you here. Do you remember when we were right here, friends? Right here. Do you remember we had these wicks up and down, up and down, up and down? I'll show you. Do you remember everyone was saying, like, this is like really bearish for Ethereum, really bearish. Do you remember? And I was like saying, what are you talking about, bro? That's bullish as hell. Everybody's bearish. This is a classic. Boop. Look what ends up happening, right? It's just giving you an example. Everybody came to that conclusion, but what they're doing is they were looking at how Ethereum was so garbage in the past. And they were basically using that, and that was their bias. I'm like, oh, you all came to the same conclusion that Ethereum's trash there. So that's pretty much how markets work, friends. It's why it's not enough for you to just think you're amazing and you're on a different side to everyone, right? It does help to check out what other people are thinking, right? Not to follow them, but just to get an idea of where the crowd is positioned, right? Because you can see right now, obviously, it's funny, like, yeah, you can be the underdog, but then you get priced in the favorite. It's happened in Soylana. Soylana is the favorite, friends. It's still covered. Ivan, Altcoin Daily, Crypto Banter, all of them, still Soylana as the favorite. Every single one. Even though Ethereum's starting to go back, they're like, oh, yeah, you're kind of going to do okay, but we're going to do okay too. But I just got to tell you something, man, as well. With, like, everyone is long Sol ETH. Every single person in crypto, okay? Everyone, everyone, friends, everyone is long this ratio. Everyone really needs this ratio to crack on up. You know, it's also funny what you see. We see a lot of these mental gymnastics PsyOps where what you're starting to see now is many KOLs, what they tell you is, okay, they're doing it subconsciously, but you know, it is. I just got to call it out, okay? They'll tell you it's a good idea to sell your coin that hasn't moved yet, and then go look for the stuff with adoption, right? Translation: sell your stuff and just come buy my coin because I'm in the thing with adoption. Okay, good luck, bro. Have you studied any cycle, by the way? Do you know that was the dumbest move you could ever do at this point of the cycle in each 3 of the other cycles? So where are you basing that from? Just greed. Literally just greed. That was literally the worst thing to do every single time, by the way. I'll give you an example, friends. I mean, like, even if I show you, like, friends, how much adoption did Doge have? Right? You missed out on a 220x. What about something like Matic? Friends, you know Matic, I had Matic, right? I held it. Matic had no adoption here. It had no DeFi. Okay, friends, literally Matic in January, the best time to buy in 2021, literally before it did a freaking, 150x or something, 0 adoption. No one was using it for anything. And then, do you want to know when people started using it, friends? I think it was around May. When May came of 2021, and then you had the zombie virus stuff, the China stuff, this is when they had the Aave things. People like really started to take more Matic, more notice of Matic. It might have been actually around here, more March 2021. But look at that, this. Look, I just want to show you, by the time the thing got adoption, okay, look at the thing. Let me show you where March is. Here's March. All right, bro, you're up 21x. Oh, you have adoption, time to get in. You see, that's why the game's not easy, friends. You can't, there's no formula where you're like, oh, buy the thing with adoption and it wins. It's not about that, man. You have to look for the market and what they're positioned for. That's why if you buy a lot of dead chains, if one of them hits, you make a lot because it's priced as like completely dead and then it wins, right? And that's also helps in PulseChain, for example. Everyone's pricing it still as a dead chain, and you know it's not dead. That's why like the universe is lining up for us even more. Speaking of PulseChain as well, having a quick look at the PulseChain core coin prices. Not moving up right now. It did have like that plus 15% move from before, Hex and Ink and PulseX or whatever out here. We got a long way to go. Pulse, friends, just to let you know, Pulse has to do an 11x from here to be break even, I think, versus Bitcoin. But you give it a bit of leeway because ETH-BTC also got wrecked. So the real ratio we got to look at is the Pulse-ETH ratio. And I have it right here. This is the Pulse-ETH ratio. You need a 5.6x to break even. I know more, actually. So right here, you need a 6x. A 6x will break even, and then it just brings you back to the price of Feb 2024, which is a year and a half ago. And that's pretty much from 4 years ago, same price. Here's the thing, right? A lot of people, they think it's like Richard did all this. He didn't, man. He didn't, all right? He did not control the business cycle. All right? He didn't control the business cycle. So it's all because of the macro business cycle. It stayed down for a lot longer than anybody thought. It's been the longest in history, one of the longest in history, 32 months down. In previous times, it was 6, 12, and 13 months. You know what I mean? Like, even if you knew that, you're like, oh, okay, worst case 13 months of what happened to, let's say, let's make it 18 just to be safe. Didn't matter. Still bad, right? We went to 32 months. So even if you expected 18 months, right? If you expected, oh, our business cycle is going to be trashed for 18 months, which is worse than anything else, we went for 32. So pretty much that means you would have thought it started to get better last year, May. And it's been going an extra 14 months. Wow. So that's a lot. That 14 months, friends, altcoins, that's an eternity. That's like going down in a stock for 5 years. You times it by 4. So that's what pretty much gives us all the pain that we've had. And hopefully next time it doesn't happen like that. So crack on news, right? OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says the company will bring over 1 million GPUs online by the end of this year. So what is he going to introduce? That's going to be crazy, right? I'm sure, friends, what they're going to be doing is video animation, creating stuff, adding sparkles, videos, movies. Man, it's going to be wild, the stuff we're going to make. It's going to be full-on curated matrix reality. You're not going to know what's real anymore. I mean, pretty much we already get that skepticism as well. But AI, man, it's pushing forward, making a lot of stuff. I'm sure as they keep pushing on this hardware, someone's going to make something really cool, like a cool plugin somewhere, and it's going to blow our minds, right? But we'll see. Hopefully we get there, and then it ends with a big bull mania. Trump Media has bought $2 billion worth of Bitcoin for its treasury. So remember, Trump friends also doing the Bitcoin treasury bubble. Yes, it's all just, one part of the whole show. This is the total crypto market cap. It's about 3.85 trillion. Hopefully we do manifest our way all the way to 10 trillion. That'll be great. So this thing pushing up higher shows crypto is more relevant. That's what we need. We just needed to keep growing, which is exactly what it's doing. Also, another thing to watch, one of the exotic top signals, like I got a feeling when there's euphoria, I'll be saying, guys, Trump Media has sold 75% of all their stock, of all their tokens. They've sold 75%, so they've only got 25% left. So, do you know what I mean? Like, they could, how long are they going to hold that for? Is that their moon bag? I don't know, but like, it's something to think about. They've sold 75%. Right now, they've sold 25%. Okay, they've sold this the first tranche. I think it was like a few weeks ago, remember? The first tranche. That's what we might find in 3 months from now. They sell another 25%. And then by the end of the year, they sell another 25%. You know what I mean? So it's something to watch. It might be that clear. I can imagine myself deep in the bear market. Okay, I know it's going to be very depressing, but someone brings me on their show and they're like, how did you know it was safe? Or how did you know it was safe to like start to unload? And I can imagine myself just saying, well, man, I mean, you don't really have to use the charts. Like if you're just out there, you're like, oh, Trump sold 75% of his bag. I guess that means something, right? So I could just see it. Sometimes these signals, friends, it's like what I like to do is I like to look at the complex stuff and the simple stuff. You take it like you look at the forest instead of the leaves. And sometimes they really do act more simple and clean like that. Here we have S&P 500 hitting a new high of 6,305. That's one of our biggest macro factors. So the stock market's good. That's all we need. Okay, stock market's good, so we're good. Pantera-backed Ether machine goes public with a $1.5 billion raise, launching with 400,000 METH to offer the largest institutional Ethereum exposure yield. So, wow. More companies are buying Ethereum. Friends, isn't it wild, man? Isn't it so suspicious? Out of nowhere, every single company is just buying ETH, right? And it all started with Tom Lee. That even shocked me. Tom Lee buying it. I was like, oh my God, he's going to get Remember, friends, I keep talking to you about, I go, we need Jeremy Lafufu, Meet Kevin, Andre Geek. We need their audience in. Guess who they follow? Tom Lee, friends. Why is it amazing? Because his target's always like, yeah, we're doing a 28,000% rally by the end of this year. He just says it with a straight. Tom Lee, crowd favorite. Look at me. Oops. Am I bullish by 1,400% this year? Oopsie. And he's right. He's right. That's the best part. He buys dips. He buys everything. I mean, we've gone up only for 14 years, so everything he's done to be bullish. He's right, man. God, he's so cute. He's Charmly. And yes, friends, all the stock market dudes, they love him because every time the S&P 500 is down 8%, he comes onto these shows. He's like, if you check out, the past 18 out of 19 times, S&P 500 is up 6%. By the end of the year after this point. So like we're going up only from here. It's pretty much every single time it comes out and says that. Actually, yep. My deep analysis is concluded. We're going up only and you're about to be really rich again. Oh man, I just love it. It's kind of funny. What's made me more bullish as well on meth? Friends, Uncle Peter Schiff. I might have to, we're going to have to cover this again, but just give you, let's go through it. Ethereum is back near the upper end of its trading range again. If you own any, this is a great time to sell. As much as it pains me to say, selling Ethereum and buying Bitcoin with the proceeds is a better trade than holding Ethereum. What the hell did I just read? What? Uncle Peter Schiff, okay? We know you like him young. Young people like Ethereum more than Bitcoin. Okay? Uncle Petey, what's going on? Wow. Couldn't make me more bullish. Wow, man. Because he's contrarian, friends. He's so contrarian. Like, for him to miss this, well, I guess it's set in stone. Ethereum's going to pop. It's going to break the all-time high. That's wonderful to see. Remember, Uncle Peter Schiff, deeply contrarian, deeply overly contrarian, some would say. But yeah, he's been fading Bitcoin the whole time. Now he's starting to fade Ethereum. It's kind of funny because he's seeing Ethereum rise up. He's like, oh, you're an even bigger Ponzi than Bitcoin. And then he's going to start to... He's basically, oh, you're all worth... It's relative value, right? He's like, oh, you're all worth 0, but you're worth 0 more than this thing. That's why if you just look at ratios, friends, they give you an idea of how to maneuver stuff. That's why I show you ETH-BTC, that ratio out here. So if you're curious as well, what's the next level of cope by Ethereum? Ethereum faders. It'll be Bitcoin maxis. So as Ethereum goes up, okay, they're already joking Bitcoin maxis. They're saying, oh no, Ethereum is only 3.2% of Bitcoin's price. Oh, we're not worried of that. They're going to keep saying, they're going to keep making a joke out of that. But the funny part is it's going to keep cranking up. You know what I could do right now? I should construct an Ethereum to Bitcoin market cap chart. And actually what I have done is that itself right now, friends. This is the Ethereum to Bitcoin market cap chart. Now, this doesn't have the spike up at the top for some reason, the market cap measurement, but it did hit pretty much near a flippening all the way up here. So flippening is 1.0. Right now, it's 0.194. Okay, but this is the log chart of cope because that's what it looks like. Okay, that's why Bitcoin is like, ha, 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 you're never coming back. You're never coming back. You're staying down forever. That's why it'll scare them, friends. You got to remember, if we get back to 50%, man, one day, I hope we get back to 50%. Now it's going to scare them. Okay, because then they know we're only a 2x away from flipping you after that point. Right now, it's 19.4%, right? When the Ethereum spot ETF launched, by the way, it was around 33%. So Ethereum was 33% of a Bitcoin size. Man, it went down to as low as 12% here, bro. What type of scamming that was that, man? That's high-level scamming there. In other cracker news, friends, MicroStrategy, so Michael Chad Saylor bought 6,200 Bitcoin for $740 million. So Michael Chad Saylor as well continuing his commitment to buying the top forever, which is what he says. Wow, the average price of his purchases now is $71,777. So pretty much almost $72,000. Man, his average price used to be $28,000. Now it's up to 77,000. You see that, man? So in 2 or 3 years, it's 3x'd. Wow, man, that's wild. And remember, that was a bear market stuff. So he's gonna look at this. It's starting to accelerate. It's starting to accelerate. Man, look at this, friends. It did this giant, huge smack of the average price up. You see that? So I got a feeling another one is coming, man. I got a feel, and this is, by the way, this line I'm drawing here is 100K. So once Michael Saylor hits 100K, I'm like, warning, warning, warning. However, I'm going to tell you something. It's not enough for it just to hit 100K. We might see it like accelerate again. See how we've said that first kink? The next kink might bring it to like 96K or something. Hopefully it's like, 80, 95. And people keep calling for the top. I'm like, you know what? I'm not worried about the top. Michael Saylor's average price is not 100K yet, And then there'll be just one gargantuanly huge kink again. Where I hope his average price just somehow gets up to like 130,000. And I'm like, okay, I want to see that point, right? We got to get to that point. We're building into that mania. Treasury Secretary Besant has said we need to examine the entire Federal Reserve institution. And then the Republican Anna Paul, this girl, she's a UFO Congress lady, pretty much. She also said, major loser Jerome Powell should be referred to the Department of Jelly Beans for criminal charges, accusing him of perjury in 2 instances. So, major loser Jerome Powell, friends, the people are turning. So, you gotta understand, man. I know Trump. He might have had some orange juice on the Epstein Island. You know what I mean? Of course, I'm just telling you something. We saw some. Look, there was a dude. He worked for. Got to find his name. Lockheed Martin. And all the US other military, okay? And he did a deathbed confession. Here he actually is, Bill Tompkins. You see him? Bill Tompkins. So, yeah, he's got a glued hairpiece. He did his deathbed confession. I think he's dead now.
We can market that.
So, extremely, friends, Bill Tompkins, he worked Lockheed Martin, Skunk. He worked for all the US military, all the US Navy, very esteemed person. Comes out. Some of you just aren't ready for what he was talking about, by the way. He got his deep UFO stuff, but I'll just give you a hint. She asks him about, this interview was back in 2016. Okay, 2016. And I think he literally refers to Barack Obama as a lizard. Yeah, he said he's an actual reptilian. And he says Trump isn't, which is wild. Now, that's why I think about stuff like that when I see them going after major loser Jerome Powell, okay? Because major loser Jerome Powell and all these things. So what's actually happening, friends, is you got to understand. So, look, obviously, reality is carefully constructed. The moon is probably some sort of Death Star thing. It's actually like a ship. It's watching over everyone. That's very obvious. Now, you have also Earth. Like I said, carefully constructed reality. All of these is manipulated and stuff. Just, you know, for its own reason. I guess we're not told the full reason. A lot of people think it's sinister. Probably not. But if everyone's turning on the head of the major loser, Jerome Powell, they're going to install someone else to calm everyone down. That's what they always do. Because the front face, friends, it's always a puppet. It's always a puppet. They're not in control. Not anywhere near in control. And I guess if Trump, a non-lizard person, starts riling everybody up, right, about it, then they have like it's interesting just how it all works. You know, it's funny. You look back at these stuff, friends. It's the same formula every time. If the people get riled up, they switch the face. They go put someone else. They give people what they want a bit, and then they go back to the macro trend. So we'll see how that works out. Remember, if major loser Jerome Powell, he's caught between, I guess, a clock and a hard place. What can he do now? If he cuts rates, some people, I don't care if he's pandering. Like, we know it's all corrupt anyway. You know what I mean? But how much does he need to cut? He needs to cut big time, bro. Like, you got to start. And you don't cut now. I mean, the S&P 500 at all-time highs. People have their jobs. So we'll see what happens. Coinbase have officially launched perpetual futures trading in the US of A. I'm personally staying away from stuff like that. I traded full-time for many, many years, friends, over 10 years. If you're in crypto, you got to play with emotional money. You have to play in that field where there's less edge. Sorry, there's less edge in your competition. And that means there's more edge for you, okay? If you're trading perpetual futures, what's your edge? What's your edge? Yeah, 1 out of 100 people winning. They know what they're doing. The other 99 don't. So we're in altcoins, we're in spot altcoins. We're here to crank. Everything's going to go well. So it's been a long time coming. Hopefully this positive sentiment does continue as you move on. Remember, there's always the discrepancies. How many green months of OTHERS-BTC in a row we're going to get? We'll find out, man. Let's close this one green and we'll go from there. Like, subscribe, belly button all. Catch you soon.